Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see we're AOR Spa here today, which is the rerun of the previous Spa race. As if you didn't know, there was a Masters connection, and that's the reason why we've gone back to Spa here today. And as you may see by the title of the video, this is actually going to be a highlights video. I've actually managed to finish this race. If you didn't know from my Twitter, if you do follow me, then you would know, but if you don't, then my last few races I've had quite a few connection issues. I haven't finished my last 3 races, so my lead in the championship has gone from being comfortable to being only 5 points coming into this race with Brozak behind. So it's really important that I try and finish this race. I managed to reset my router along with Matt not streaming, because I thought myself that would be the issue, and as you'll be able to see in this video, a combination of those two things. I don't know if which one was the sole responsible for it, but it seemed to help quite a bit. But moving to this race, as you know, Spa's a really good track for me. I managed to win it on the last time out I did this, and it's a track that I've always probably said that is actually my best track on the game, along with Silverstone and Suzuka. I think them 3, actually including China as well, them 4 are the big 4 for me in the game. And coming into this, I'll be honest, I really wasn't feeling that warmed up. As you can see on the McCoy lap though, at the moment it's going pretty well, as we're going absolutely on the limits pretty much, just maybe just a slightly bit over the limit on that left-hander there, but still just very minimal. And but yeah, but coming into this race, I wasn't really prepared as I normally would be. I didn't really practice as much as I would normally do for a race, mainly because of me being having the disconnection issues and connection issues recently. In my last 3 races, I didn't really want to practice that much, because if I disconnected and I practiced a lot, then the taste in my mouth afterwards is quite bitter. So I thought just do enough practice just to try and get familiar with the track, but not really trying to go too ham, because I anticipated of me actually lagging out. But coming over the line now, you'll be able to see in this, we managed to get in the 46s, 46.9. The lap was really good, but that last chicane was pretty poor, I'm not gonna lie. My last sector was about 3 tenths off what I should be doing, to be honest, as you'll be able to see in the garage here now as we go on the screen. So the first 2 sectors are pretty good, as Jason takes provisional pole, but we do a 28.8 last sector, which is not really good enough. As you can see, Jason's done a 5 and my PB's a 5, and I normally get in the 6s and 7s, so we lost definitely 2 tenths there. But credit to Jason, he did a really good lap. And to be honest, being on pole position around here is not really an ideal spot, so being in 2nd place is actually probably the best position you can start with in this race. So I was pretty happy with that, as Brozak, if you didn't know, he lagged out in the qualifying session, so he actually starts in last place, I believe, or on the last row. So we're in a really good position. At this point now, my mindset is just to finish ahead of him, really. I really want to win the race, because I know most people know I'm really competitive and I always want to win the race, but right now I'm just thinking from a championship position, and finishing the race and just beating my closest rival in the championship is everything. That would be an actual dream result, as we managed to stay in 2nd place. So if we can get a slipstream with Jason, it should be a pretty comfortable pass down the straight, because the straight is so long and the slipstream in this game is, in my opinion, a bit overpowered. But you'll be able to see coming down here, 8th gear, fuel rich mix. Doesn't look like we're going to have an opportunity here, so we're thinking about going around the outside. We're thinking about it, but decided just to be a bit cautious. As I was coming into this race, I wasn't really going for that aggressive. As we're going to go down the inside, he's left the door open for us, and we're going to try and get into the lead. Try and just go on our race line, just so he doesn't try and get on the inside of us, and that's us into the lead. So perfect start to the race, and right now I just want to if I can, just try and break away from dirty air around here. Is very difficult, particularly if you pull on and in this next right and left hander. It's very hard to follow a car. So if I can try and make him understeer behind me in the dirty air, then try and get away, then that would be great. So at the moment I'm feeling pretty dialed in. Practice for this race so didn't really go that well. It's only when I actually got in this race I felt pretty comfortable as we're trying to get out of the slipstream, so just try and hold it to the right hand side. But yeah, as I said, it was a bit like the Hungary race where I just didn't really feel that dialed in. I know if you play league racing, I think you'll know what I mean, but I didn't really feel 100% pretty much is what I'm trying to say. So, but right now I am driving pretty well, and we've got Leobot in second place, so hopefully in my mind, if them two can start battling, then that would be absolutely perfect for me, and that's what happened last time here at Spa. I managed to get into the lead, and the two guys behind me who were chasing me, they started battling, and if you get out of DRS around here, then it's, as long as you're consistent and you don't go on the grass, it's very, very difficult to catch people around here. It's a very, very difficult track to try and close people down because of the straights. You're pretty much on a straight most of the time. As you can see, the slipstream effect here is pretty powerful. As Leobot's going to go down the inside, but we'll really go try and not give this up. We're going to try and stay in a little bit of contact there. But we managed to stay in the lead, which is absolutely crucial. But in my mind, I really wanted to just keep ahead here, because if I said again, if them two can start battling halfway through a lap, and that gives me a gap coming towards the start finish line, and I've got a really good chance of just trying to pull away in this race. As you can see here, we've got a gap at the moment. So right now I've got to try and absolutely just nail these corners, just give it absolutely everything at this point in time. We're going 100% at the moment. Putting into the lean mix, just trying to help with traction coming through here, trying to sacrifice this corner to get a better exit onto this left-hander, and that was almost perfect. A little bit of a lift there, a little bit of a hesitation, which is something ideally I didn't want to do, but a really nice corner there. And let's see what the gap is. It's 6/10, so just try and go out the slipstream and just trying to hold it to this right hand side. This is a little strategy I try and do, and it really does help. Even though you're making the track longer for yourself, it definitely outweighs, it definitely gives you more benefit of getting out of the slipstream, because the slipstream down here is so powerful. And as you can see in the mirror here, he is completely just closing to me, so you can see how powerful that slipstream is. And right now there's nothing really I can do. And the good thing is the top three have pulled away. Jack's felt behind a little bit. I don't know what's happened to him. He must have had a pretty bad start, but the top three have got away, so this is going absolutely perfect for me. And Brozak is not in the top four, so right now I really want to win the race, but as I said before, it's not everything if I don't. So if I can just get in the podium, get some good points, and just extend my championship lead whilst finishing a race, which is the #1 thing for me, that'd be absolutely awesome. As Leobot's going around the outside of me there, he's gone down the inside, a little bit of contact, and we've just spun and gone on the grass, and that is not what I wanted to happen. As you'll be able to see here in slow motion, Leobot goes down the inside of me. I break a little bit later than him, a little bit of contact, and yeah, that was, to be honest, I think that was a racing incident. I'm not going to put the blame on Leobot, because I'm being honest, I don't really think that was his fault. That was just unfortunate really, with the glitch we have in the game. Just that slight bit of contact, unfortunately, just didn't work out for me in that one. But luckily we are still in third place, so that could have gone a lot worse than what it did. And yeah, that incident, I probably should have just backed out, because I could have just slotted in behind second, but I was a bit indecisive there, and that's just reflected me being a bit rusty at the game really, because I hadn't really played the game that much since I started disconnecting. I lost a bit of motivation. I started to play Call of Duty on Xbox One instead. But as you can see, Jack's taking advantage of the spin now, and you can see the leaders have pulled away a bit now, because we've lost probably a few seconds. And Jack's on Prime as well, so this is not going to help us at all, because the options are considerably a lot faster than the Prime here. As you can see, we're just hassling them at the moment, and this is losing us quite a bit of time. We're pretty desperate to get past, and you can see we're literally just pushing him around the corners at the moment, but there's no real opportunity to overtake to really until the back straight in the main straight. We've just got to have to sit behind him for right now, and Leobot's in the lead, and Jason's behind him as well. So at this moment in time, I was just thinking, just try and get a podium, just try and finish as many places ahead of Brozak as you can, because Brozak's my main championship rival. Jason is in third place in the championship, but he's quite a way behind, so as long as I can not lose too much out to him, then it should be pretty comfortable. But right now we're ahead of Jack, trying to get past him as quick as possible, but we don't want another collision again, so we're being pretty cautious. So Jack's just go let us go, so go down the inside. He's not really going to fight too much, and that's us into third place again. And we just got to try and just set some good laps now. It's going to be very, very difficult to break away from Jack, as he's actually gone in the pits actually, so that's actually a good thing, because that means you wouldn't be battling with him again. And we just got to see what we can do now. Being in this position now, so having that incident has really set us back quite a bit, because I really felt I had the pace and the consistency to really take charge of the race that I did last time. As you can see, it's a 3.3 second gap at the moment, so Spa being one of the hardest tracks to close down, unless he makes quite a few major mistakes, it's going to be pretty difficult to close him down. But as you said, it's all about that momentum, as I always say. If you could just keep prodding at someone just a tenth here and there, and just do it every lap, then who knows, we could definitely catch him before the end of the race. So coming to the pits now, we're on option tyres, and yeah, this is not the ideal strategy I wanted to do. I ideally wanted to do one stop, but I did that in my previous race. But again, this is really just being overly cautious, because I don't really want to and the guys behind me to overtake me and get in battling. So, but unfortunately, you've actually come out behind quite a few cars, so that is not particularly ideal for me. We've got Jack ahead of me, who I believe he's on the option again, so he's starting on prime, so I presume he's going to do 2 options. So this is going to be now a 2-stop race. Ideally, I was going to go to end of lap 10 as I did before, but with that incident and losing those seconds, I was trying to try and get a good undercut so I can hook onto the leaders and hopefully just stay with them through the DRS. But as you can see, this is really not working out too well for us, as we've got Carter Kane in front who's on old option tyres, I believe. So he should be relatively easy to pass, but as you can see, we're pushing him around the corner, and this is just costing us time and time to the leaders. So the potential undercut we could have had is really not really going to work, I don't think, as we are going to go behind Jack now, and it looks like it's Jack and I don't know who that is, but ahead of him it's Living Dead. So we're just being a bit cautious here, as I said, trying not to get into any incidents. I was being a bit wary because I thought Living Dead could maybe cut across to the pit, so I just left him a bit of room there. But as you can see, with the bare option tyres, the traction is just far superior to him. So that's us into 6th place now, and we're behind Jack as well, so we should be able to DRS him as long as we get a good exit off this corner, as we don't really do. But with DRS we should be able to comfortably get past him down straight, because as I said, the slipstream is pretty overpowered. So we've gone into -1 lap of fuel, so fuel normally isn't an issue in this game. Normally you can go in rich and lean and you don't have to really worry about it, but in this track, since it's so much of being on full throttle, you really actually do have to manage it, as Jack is trying to hold it around the outside, but we're just going to do exactly the same back to him. Have the inside for the right, try and keep it on the track, which we managed to do quite nicely. And that's us into 4th place. And next person ahead is actually Broziak, so for him starting last place, he's going for a high risk strategy. I presume he's going for a 1-stop. So we'll see how that works out for him, but his tyres should be pretty warm compared to ours. I imagine he'd be on a prime, but we'll be able to see. And this is good for us, because we're right behind our championship rival, and we've almost got a pit stop on him already. So, and you can see he does not have any grip at all. So we're just going to be, again, as I said, just try and be not really aggressive when we're trying to overtake him. There's no real need, because he's not really in our race at the moment, as we're sat in purple time. So we've got the pace at the moment, but we're just going to put it down to lean mix. So we don't really want to overtake him into chicane, because we want to get the DRS for the next straight, the main straight. There's no point getting ahead of him here, because he'll just get DRS straight back on us. So we're just going to take our time here, as we're just using our brains really. As you managed, just go a bit too deep. So with the slipstream, it says you do have to brake a little bit earlier, so that definitely caught me off guard a bit. He's come across the line, 48.5, which is a pretty good time. But we're going to go into the first corner and try and get a good exit. As you can see, he's on the prime tyre, and 10 lap prime tyres compared to my options, he's not really going to have that much grip. So we're not really going to try and get a slipstream here, because you don't want to be too up behind him, get boxing behind him. Because you can see, we actually did a bit of a lift there just to try and build up momentum, try not to drive into him up the straight, because Jack could potentially get past us as well. So Brozet's not going to make it too difficult for us. Should be a fairly easy pass, and that's us into first place, and it's Leobot ahead as well. So he's not too far ahead. I believe he's on the prime tyre as well. I believe he's going for a one-stop strategy, and I believe he pitted on lap 9. So that's not really. I wasn't really that worried about him actually, because I pitted on lap 10 in my previous race, and my tyres were absolutely gone at the end. So we're right behind him. He's going to pit. He's going to have to stay out on these tyres. Another 11 laps on those tyres is going to be a pretty difficult task. So if we can get past him quickly, we could be looking at a top 2. Jason, I believe, is on 2 lap fresher tyres than me, and 2 lap fresher tyres is definitely quite a big advantage around here. The tyre wear definitely, the drop off definitely seems to be quite significant if you have older tyres than someone else. So we'll manage to get a good run on Leobot, so he's going to defend, but we're just going to take the normal racing line. Hopefully it should be an easy pass, and we've just been blown up into this corner, so it's gone completely straight on. I don't know what happened there, as we'll be able to see in the slow motion here. So we got past him, look in the right mirror there, we brake, and we've just been completely just shafted off. And there was no advantage gained there because I went completely off the track. The track slowed me down. And I was pretty annoyed about that because that just really just ruined my rhythm for the race and cost us even more time. But we're only 2.7 seconds behind Jason, so that's not exactly a million miles away. But as I said, with the fresher tyres, he should be putting away quite a bit per lap, a few tenths per lap at least. But as you'll be able to see, our consistency is pretty good. So 0.079 from the last lap. So our consistency is definitely on point. And I felt at this point in the race, I was really starting to get into the groove of what I normally should be, and we were actually decreasing the gap. So, despite being on the older tyres, we're actually closing in on Jason on the older tyres. So, look at this lap, and again, it's within a 0.0, and we got to 2.2 seconds. So the race is definitely not over at the moment, and our consistency is, in the last 3 laps, it's been less than a tenth per lap. So you can't really do anything more than that. As we go into the pits now, as my tyres, on that lap I started to lose a lot of time to Jason because my tyres just completely just gave out, just pushing so hard in that middle stint, because I was really hungry to try and actually take the win. I wasn't giving up on the win, but as I said, I wouldn't be too disappointed if I didn't get it. But that's just the driver in me. I always want to try and win the race as much as I can. Coming second is not something I'm really good at dealing with. I'm quite a bad loser, really, to be honest, but I guess that's what makes me quite motivated to try and do well most of the time. As we come out in 4th place, and Jack behind us is on option tyres, I believe, and the options are quite a bit quicker than the prime, so I'm expecting him to definitely catch me. As we come on to lap 17, or end of lap 17 now, and looking at the pits, I believe Jason's pitted, so he's going to have 2 lap fresher tyres than us again. So that should really be game, set and match. Just see how close we can get out behind him, but you can see that gap is too big, and with 4 laps to go, and the driver that Jason is, with the tyre advantage, that's pretty much game over for trying to win the race. But actually Leobot is actually still leading, and he's actually got quite a big gap. So Leobot, I believe him and Brozak are the only 2 drivers on the one-stop strategy. And it looks like he's got quite a comfortable margin, but as I said, him pitting on lap 9, I believe, I was thinking he's going to be struggling quite a bit at the end. So if you can push every single lap, then Leobot is nowhere near out of the question. Trust me, that gap, even though it looks big, it's nowhere near out of the question. Jack on the option tyres now gets past us. And I wasn't really going fighting for there, because I was hoping he could maybe draw me into Jason if he had enough tyres, tyre life in his tyres again. But as you can see, Jason looks like he's about 2 seconds up the road, so 2 seconds of 3 laps. It depends how much speed Jack has, but Jack pitted quite a while ago on those option tyres, so the prime should be rubbed in quite a bit for myself and Jason. As you can see here, we're sticking with Jack now, so it looks like his option tyres are finally starting to give up, and we're hassling them at the moment, and we should be getting on the podium. So I was feeling pretty good. Yeah, like being on the podium is a good result. Obviously, I would like to win the race. I'll try and win every race I can, but I was really happy because obviously my last 3 races I've disconnected, which cost me a lot of points. which could have helped me maybe close out the championship of this race potentially, but that's just the way it goes. We're still in the lead of the championship, and all I wanted to do, the number one thing for this race, is just to finish the race, and then if I could beat my championship rival, that'd be absolutely amazing, as we can go into third place. So it looks like Jack's tyres have completely given up, and you'll be able to see the gap here. You can see now that Jack has completely fallen off, as Brozak's actually retired from the race. So that is unfortunate for him, but it's pretty good news for me. So that means he will not get any points for this race. If you retire from a race in this league, you won't get any points. No matter where you finish, no matter how many drivers have finished, you will not get any points. So he has got 0 points from this race. And as you can see in front of us, Leobot has got in second place, and you can see how slow he's going. So I don't know if he's got a puncture. At this point I thought he may have had a broken wing or something like that, but I can tell you now he's actually ran out of fuel. So it looks like Jason's going to take this win. Leobot's completely ran out of fuel, and obviously with his tyres as well, he's not going to have any traction. Let's see if we get past him. We've gone to the side of him, and we've managed to grab second place. So that is a pretty good result. I was really happy. I was pretty ecstatic with that really. Jason takes the win, so credit to him. He drove a really good race, didn't make any mistakes, didn't do anything stupid. Finished 4.1 seconds behind. So with that incident, being behind Jack, having that traffic as well, you could say we could have been right up there. We definitely would have been battling for the win with him, but you can't win every time. And again, credit to Jason, he drove a really good race, and yeah, I was really happy because I actually finished the race. And as you'll be able to see here in the championship standings, we have now got a 23-point lead now. So we've extended the gap by 18 points over my rival. Jason is 52 points behind. So if you beat him next race, and that's it, he cannot beat me in the championship. So if I beat Brozak in the next 2 races, that technically is the championship. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. But I just want to say thank you so much for the support. It's helped me keep in the league, because I was thinking about leaving the league if you didn't know, because of the disconnections. But for you guys' support, it's actually helped me stay motivated for league, and hopefully I can bring it home for myself and also for the people who support me as well. So as always, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Cheers.